Sexy Red said the most romantic thing a man has ever done for her was rob someone and give her all the money. I guess that's what passes for romance these days. Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I am your host, Akorn. I hope all of you are having a great weekend, and that you are now ready for the next episode of Laugh While the World Burns, where we show some of the highlights of the idiocracy that is modern-day society. If you enjoy this series, please help support the channel and watch this video to the end, and share this video with your family, friends, and social media. We have a lot of good memes and some idiocracy news this week, so let's get into it. Hillary Clinton teaching young girls how to delete emails. MAGA today. Defund the police. Defund the entire government. That's what I've said for a long time now. Dissolve the entire government. Leftists don't ban hate speech. They ban speech that they hate.
I shouldn't even be a barista. I have a degree in gender and queer studies. College gets you nowhere.
Starbucks is literally what that degree is for, though. Yes, it is. And just another good reason not to go to Starbucks. Liberals are outraged at hilarious Valentine's Day card posted by White House on social media. The card features board czar Thomas Homan. And this is the card that they're talking about. Roses are red, violets are blue. Come here illegally, and we'll deport you. You have to admit, that is kind of funny. I was told that taxes are the price we pay for a civilized society. I want a refund. Walgreens CEO describes drawback of anti-shoplifting strategy. When you lock things up, you don't sell as many of them. Yeah, because people that actually pay for stuff just don't want to be bothered to have to get someone or wait for someone to get keys in order to buy every item that they have on their list. They'd rather just go someplace else, and so would I. However, that's what happens when you live in a city that legalizes and allows rampant theft. I declare the United States of America is hereby unburdened by what has been. Disney drops Dumbo trigger warning as nation's children scarred for life. We've reached an existential crisis in Trump's America. Children can now watch Peter Pan and gasp Dumbo without a Disney Plus trigger warning guiding their way. Seems the House of Mouse is having second thoughts about its go woke, go broke business plan. That look you get when you realize the American people just took their country back and kicked you to the curb. Portland Tesla owner remembers to leave Tesla at home before protesting Tesla. And what might have been the most Portland thing ever, local resident and proud Tesla owner Trevor Greenfield made headlines on Saturday after momentarily driving his $60,000 Tesla Model 3 to the Tesla Takedown protest outside a Portland dealership, only to turn around halfway there after realizing the optics might be a little off. I can only assume that this is satire. I mean, I know there's a lot of stupid people these days, and because of that, I could completely see somebody actually doing this, to be honest. Which is why, if this is satire, well, it's still only a matter of time. The people pissed about fact-checking being removed are the same ones who believe men can have periods. For the most part, they're also the same ones that were the fact-checkers. Or at least they thought they were, by reporting everyone's posts that they didn't like. The cheapest way to become transgender. Yeah, that might actually be true. More than $151 million collected from U.S. Army soldiers for food ended up spent elsewhere. Millions of dollars collected by the U.S. Army for a food program were spent elsewhere, with less than half of the funds actually finding their way to soldiers' plates, according to a report. An investigative report from military.com found that of the $225 million snatched up from junior enlisted soldiers as part of the Basic Allowance for Substance program, just $74 million went towards food. It's just returned to the big pool of Army funds, and it's used somewhere else, an official told the outlet. The money is collected in what amounts to a tax on troops, taking from their base payment of $460 per month and automatically deducted from paychecks of service members who live in the barracks. The program is intended to help enlisted men and women to cover food costs. It's bad enough that they had to pay that in the first place, and it's even worse that they didn't receive what they were supposed to in return, which by definition, that's taxes. Acer becomes the first manufacturer to announce 10% price increase on consumer products amid Trump tariffs. Asus, HP, and Dell to likely follow. Acer has become one of the first hardware manufacturers to show the influence of Trump tariffs on consumer product pricing, as the firm is set to implement a 10% bump for made-in-China hardware for U.S. markets. Acer's CEO says production in China will cost a lot more due to Trump tariffs. Price change likely to reflect by March. I made comments on past episodes where I basically said this exact scenario, that companies will increase prices on products by whatever equal amount that the tariffs is costing them, because costs that are charged to a company is always passed on in the products that they make, and at the end of the day, it's the consumer is the one that pays for those costs. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, that just means that the people here in the U.S. will just stop buying products from these other countries. Well, you got two problems with that. Number one, the U.S. does not have the manufacturing power that they used to. Most of that is all went to China. And number two, much of the stuff that's sold in the stores these days is from China. Just walk into a Walmart sometime and see how many items you can find that is made anywhere except for China. You can find some, but it's usually not that many. Eggs are so expensive that families are going to be buying potatoes for Easter. My face when I realized my tax money could have been used to buy more groceries and ammo, but instead went to transgender operas in Colombia. To celebrate Black History Month, let's all take a moment to honor the most accomplished African American of our generation. That's actually kind of funny. He's from South Africa. I think his dad was some huge plantation owner down there. That's how he started out with his fortune. I love all the rags to riches and self-made billionaire stories that they try to push, because every time you start looking into them, you'll find out that it's completely the opposite, irregardless of what side of the aisle that they happen to be on. Black cats aren't bad luck. That's false information made up by orange cats. Might be.
But if you homeschool your children, then how will they know if they're trans?
As long as I stay away from people like that, they'll be fine. Clump of cells unalives at 67. If the First Amendment applies to the radio, TV, and internet, and the Fourth Amendment applies to electronic surveillance and video surveillance, then the Second Amendment applies to modern lead dispensers. Pete Hegseth awarded Silver Star for enduring roomful of hysterical women. I finally realized it. People are prisoners of their phones. That's why they are called cell phones. It's actually a pretty good point. A country run by banks will always be in debt. Healthcare run by big pharma will never cure disease. A state run by war will never know peace. A nation run by the media will never know the truth. Positive viewpoint, negative viewpoint. Everything depends on the way you see it. Also a good example of how the media can spin a story depending on how they want their viewers to perceive it. Did you know there are the same number of states that end in Kansas as there are genders? Yep, there's Kansas and Arkansas, otherwise known as Arkansas. So should Kansas just be Kansas? I don't know.
Feeling buyer's remorse, MAGA? Don't blame us, MAGA. We tried to warn you, MAGA.
MAGA every day now.
I really couldn't be happier.
I had no idea there could be so many leftist tears. Celebrities. If Trump gets elected, I'm moving to Canada. Trump. I'm going to make Canada the 51st state. I have to admit, that actually would be kind of funny from this point of view. Not a single clan of Epstein-Maxwell has been brought to justice.
I love all minorities.
White people are 8% of the global population. I'm never ordering a California pizza again. No one elected Elon. Interesting. Now do Fossey and all the rest of them. You wake up tomorrow and the year is 2002. What do? Buy a house with my lunch money. Yes, houses were a lot cheaper back then. However, so was your income. Minimum wage around that time was, what, about $5.25? At least if I remember right, that's what it was where I lived in Kentucky at the time. Remember when Mahomes played Darlene on Roseanne? I think we had a similar meme last week, and I have to say, they seriously do look like they're related in some way. A transgender 4-year-old child is like a vegan cat. We all know who is making those lifestyle choices.
Leave the corrupt agencies wasting my tax money alone.
Well, the reason most of them don't care is because they don't pay taxes.
Aren't you a right-wing extremist?
Nope, just a normal dude from 20 years ago. Local government when homeless camps pop up in public. Local government when you try to put a shed on your property. Yeah, the news once again was caught using props to make their so-called live broadcast. It's kind of like that one where that guy was acting like the wind and the rain was so strong he couldn't even hardly stand up. And yet in the background, there was two people just walking down the street looking at him like he was crazy. Vote Bernie. Real people. Real power. Bernie 2016. License plate. New York. Slacker. I guess they're proud of it. I love the people that's so against government that they pay the government even more money just to have a customized license plate. Just buy a sticker and put it on your bumper. Everyone. AI art will make designers obsolete. AI accepting the job. It certainly does make some messed up images at times, but it's getting better. I blocked CNN at my mom's house using parental controls. Now she keeps calling me saying she can't watch the news. This is how we save America. My senior year of high school. Dropping out of my first year of college. And the thing is, they post this because apparently they're proud of it. Louis Vuitton microscopic handbag sold for $63,000 at Pharrell Williams auction. OMG, perfect. It can hold all my money. It's smaller than a grain of rice and appears to be made from plastic, best as I can tell. You have to have a microscope to see the details. But most likely what this really is a washing board for money. Seems like only yesterday I was getting called a conspiracy theorist by Fruit Loops like this. Never forget. I was at a Cardi B concert for 45 minutes before I realized it was just a homeless man yelling at a trash can. Mitch McConnell, the best gift Kentucky Republicans could ever give to the National Democrat Party. Mount Rushmore 2.0. Columbus Funeral Home to be first in Ohio to operate with a liquor license. Kansas Dem governor vetoes ban on child mutilations, but GOP will override. Navy Petty Officer First Class Charles Jackson French of Omaha, Nebraska, swam through the night for 6 to 8 hours, pulling a raft of 15 wounded sailors with a rope around his stomach through shark-infested waters after the USS Gregory was hit. Cartridges sold by the pound in an Idaho grocery store. I could go for that. When you're eating a midnight snack and hear RFK Jr. at the door. Uh-oh, you're in trouble now. Them. How big of a conspiracy theorist are you? Me. This big. Yeah, I remember when that was going around, saying that Taylor Swift was actually just Napoleon Dynamite dressed in drag. And these days, it's hard telling. The post office wants stamp prices to rise 5 times over the next 3 years. I don't know what for. They don't do anything anyway. I just waited over 20 days for one package. And most of that time, it just sat in Kansas City. Anti-establishment counterculture through the years. Whenever you're feeling stupid, just remember this image. Men in 1944 facing almost certain unaliving. Men in 2020 facing a 99.9% survival rate. Getting mugged? Just say no. Your robber legally cannot take any of your possessions without your consent. I'm sure he'll stop if you ask him nicely. It reminds me about a verse that's in a song by a guy named Buddy Brown. He's here on YouTube, country singer. And the title of the song is Kids That Never Got Spanked. If you've never heard it before, look it up sometime here on YouTube. It's a pretty good one. Government corruption we've seen. Corruption we haven't even seen yet. The I didn't elect him starter pack. I could say a lot of things here, but I'll just let it go for today. Reporters then question everything the government says. Reporters now.
Questioning the government is white supremacy.
Well, not since January, I guess. Fight the system by making it bigger. I don't feel anything resembling rain, at least not from where I'm standing. We had another meme about this guy in a past episode, and I didn't know who he was or what it was referring to, but you guys told me down in the comments, and I forgot who he was again, but I know that he was down at the border giving some speech and saying something to the effect that he didn't see any illegal aliens crossing there, so why is a wall needed? And just like that, the drones disappeared. Jimmy Carter, most ineffective president in U.S. history. Joe Biden, hold my behavior. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the rest. The doctor diagnosed me with climate change. Pure soy. Too bad soy's in just about every single thing that we can get from a store. When it's 3 a.m. and the recommended video is titled U.S. Government, where it all went wrong.
I don't need sleep. I need answers.
Water and presence of whales found on Jupiter by Pakistani satellite. Satellite launched by Pakistan found in Arabian Sea. And I'll end the episode with this. Tradition is a set of solutions for which we have forgotten the problems. Throw away the solution and you get the problem back. I want to thank all of you who watched this video to the end, as it really helps to support the channel. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already, smash subscribe and click that bell. And share these videos with your family, friends, and social media. I want to thank everyone who submits content to the channel. If you have memes, links, news, or anything else, you can send it to akornzstash@gmail.com. This link can also be found down below in the video description. We have a new Gen X and Millennial Memes episode dropping on the second channel on Tuesday, so remember to stop by and check that out. But I'll see you guys back here on this channel for Friday's show. Until then, I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe, especially out there on the roads this week with all the snow and ice and other bad weather coming in, which by the time you guys see this video, it'll probably already be past. But until next time, this is Akorn, over and out.